Hello, YouTube. I'm back again. I'm a little early, about 2 minutes. I just want to wait a little bit and just see who's in the house. Hey, Uncle Al, what's going on out there in California? Hey, Detroit prepping, what's going on? Yeah, so like I said, today it's gonna be a little dark. What I'm gonna be talking about today. It's hey, Unpaid Explorer. Hey, did you get that message I left about the other two people that's from Northeast Ohio? Yeah, they down by the raceway down there. I forgot which raceway, but yeah, they in Northeast Ohio. Okay, okay. I know you from Palmer, but they are a little bit farther than that. Not that much. Not that much. They only like I would say 40, 45 minutes from Valley View, but they out west, out by Norwalk. Norwalk. That's what I'm thinking. Norwalk. Yeah, they out by Norwalk. Um, Uncle Al said, "Warm days, cold nights." It's like that up here. We got cold days and cold nights. But next week we supposed to hit 60. I think Tuesday, but that'll be okay. That'll be all right. Hey, Jeanette, how you doing? We always the bad guys. You right about that. See, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna talk about this. I got a friend that I really would love for him to come on and actually he's not a friend, he's a relative. He's smart. He's what I call a metaphysicist. Okay. I'm gonna just leave it at that. If I get him on, I'll let him explain. All right. So it's about a minute to it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started. Hey, Robert, how you doing, Homestead Aquarius? What I mean by the title of this, what if we are the bad guys? I mean, it only takes one bad disaster for us to become the bad guys. You know, I had mentioned this once before in a short video I did. It don't take much for us to be the bad guy. If you lose all your preps, all your stuff that you had planned for, or somebody that moved into your bug out location and you have nothing. I mean, you only had the clothes on the back, whatever you carrying in your pockets, that's it. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to try to take it back? Of course, but that might not be successful. So you're going to have to go and be the bad guy in order to survive, you and your group. You know, I thought about this the other night when I was watching The Walking Dead, you know, and I remember they did an episode. If Michonne had actually met Negan first, we would look at them differently than we look at them now. Yeah, I always say Rickon was the bad guy because they always doing stuff. But anyway, hey, Lori. Hey, Shirley. How you guys doing? So anyway, so we are the bad guys. We can be the bad guys. It only takes one bad break, you know, one short disaster for us to be looting, to be out there scavenging, to turn into predators or turn into wolves. We would, just like them people in Venezuela did with the people that was in them convoys, become predators and prey on those people, you know, prey on the refugees. Because, you know, what they say, might makes right, and that's what we would do. I recently broke down. I do not have Excel. I got a lot of help to restore my faith. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, we would turn into predators. I don't have a doubt about that. I mean, I would not try to be a predator. I don't want to be a predator. But when things go bad and it's either starve or take what somebody else has got if they don't want to share, what would you do? You know, we would turn to our survival instincts and do whatever we had to do. Hey, Simple Jan. I mean, you could be on the road bugging out, and all of a sudden you get attacked by a bunch of marauders. Now they don't kill you, but they take everything you got, and they leave you with nothing. So what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing. You're going to prey upon the next person. I mean, it's not a good thing to think about, and it's not what you want to do. But if you have no choice, it's either starve or become what you don't want to be. That's what you have to do. See, so that's what I'm saying. See, we are deep inside. We have a survival instinct. I mean, we'll pray and we'll do what we have to do, but we're gonna survive. We always will. That's what people do. We'll turn into the predators. You know, we will prey on the weaker people in the group. It's just like you remember reading The Lord of the Flies in school. We had to read that. Then I seen the movie. Just like that, them kids, they were all best friends. They were all good friends, and they turned on each other. They preyed on the weaker. They preyed on the fat kids. They preyed on all, the weaker of the bunch. And that's what we would do if we were out there and we had nothing. I mean, nothing but the clothes on your back and whatever's in your pocket. And you needed to survive. I mean, the weather wouldn't make it any better right now because, as I say, it's cold out here. It's 30 to 35 degrees here today. It's supposed to go into the 20s tonight, but I say by Monday it's going to be warmer. But I'm just saying, we are the bad guys. And I was watching The Walking Dead, and I was watching they had that flashback thing. It depends on who you come upon first. Is maybe you morph into whatever that group is. If you morph into a group that's nothing but scavengers and looters, that's what you'll probably end up become. But if you morph into a group that's a bunch of wolves and coyotes, that's what you'll become. You'll mimic or fall in with that group because you have no idea how you are supposed to survive when you have nothing. You never had to do it before. You see what I'm saying? You never had to do it before. It's just like people right now that are out here losing their homes, their jobs, and they don't know how to live on the streets. They never had to do it before. Until they actually had to experience this, they end up in one of them tent cities like they got out in California and Los Angeles and San Francisco and Hawaii and a few other places where it's warm. Most of the tent cities have moved out that way by this time of year. But they come back. They come back in the summer here. Not as much, but they come back. But they're like hobos. But that's what you will have to do. If you've never done it before, what would you be? You'll be whatever your surroundings dictate you'll be. Now, you may come upon somebody that got a farm or a homestead, and you will prey on them. You will prey on them. You will go. You won't even ask. You will go raid their gardens, get out their corn, grab a couple of tomatoes. They got fruit trees. Get as much fruit as you carry. You won't ask because you're afraid that they might say no. So you're just going to take what you want. And that's what I'm saying. Are we the bad guys? Because you figure that they want to chase you out in the woods or they don't have a dog or whatever. But it's just the way life is. You're morphing towards something you don't want to be. Janet says, learn foraging. You'll never throw a plastic bag on the side of the road. Could be your friend. Could be your best friend. I understand what you're saying. If you find a plastic bag on the side of the road, that could be your best friend. That could be your carry-on. Yeah, but I mean, if you never have to do right now, I don't know. Like I told you a story my last live video with this guy down there. I was watching this video and he was telling me about the two guys that tried to steal his generator and go take over to his, I guess, their parents' house. Gonna take his stuff. Not even asking could he come over and share. It's gonna take, and that's what people are gonna start thinking first. They're gonna start thinking survival first. They're gonna say, "I'm gonna take." So if you're a prepper, you got to be aware. You can't let anybody in your house because you got to be worried because they might want to come and take what you've been prepping for years. Like I say, leave a generator outside, they might take it. You got a garden outside, they might go through it. And you do go out there and they don't know nothing about planting. These people are transplants. They just go ahead and loot and forage. And they'll just probably trample all your tomato plants to the ground, just getting about 6 or 7 tomatoes. But that's the one thing you have to worry about. I mean, these are not bad people. But they end up being bad people because they're doing stupid stuff. And that's what happens. That's why I say, are we the bad guys. I mean, if that happened to you, I mean, put yourself, but they say, put yourself in other guys' shoes, walk a mile in their shoes, put yourself in their shoes. What would you do? See, me, I'm in the city. I mean, like I said, I got a plan for my backup plan for my backup plan for my backup plan. You know, I try to cover every scenario, every base, even losing all my supplies and everything. I try to cover that base too. But what would you really do? Because those are extreme situations that you hope you never had to come upon. And that's the question. Could you right now, if it was 0 hour and things happen and you had to go? I mean, maybe they might have tell you that we got a major gas leak and everybody on your street or everybody in the city had to leave. Now you're a refugee. What are you gonna do? And they ain't gonna let you get no stuff. They're gonna tell you it's mandatory that you go now. You might have a bag ready, 3 days bag, but then you gotta go out. Shirley, excuse me. Shirley says, gotta have missed all the booby traps. Yeah, well, you know what? I can't say booby traps on my videos because it's against the law in the state that I live in to have booby traps. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, as long as you know it's against the law, it's all right. But you know, I can't say do booby traps. Yeah, let's see. That's funny. Because I know a guy that did a booby trap, but I can't talk about him now. He got in trouble for that with the police. There's always a choice we have. We behave, but most will turn savage. Hunger is a powerful motivation. That's Homestead Accord said that. He's right. That's what I'm saying. If you actually never been out there and sometimes you be hungry. I mean, you go home and you're hungry, nothing in the refrigerator. You don't feel like cooking that. And you say, I'm starving, but you're not really starving. You're just hungry. You're just used to having stuff. But let's say if you really was hungry and you was on the street, you bugged out, you in a tent, and you ain't got no refrigerator to go to, no pantry to go get nothing out. You got a bottle of water and you look around and there's nothing out there, not even a squirrel. And then what are you going to do? That's when you're starving. You know, that's when you're starving. I mean, really. And you hopefully you never had to get to that point or actually really realize what starving is until you actually see it. I mean, that's crazy, you know, the way things can happen like that. Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, so like I said, you would turn savage. You would turn savage. You really would turn savage. I could sit up here and think right now, if I wasn't here talking to you guys on the computer and everything that I'm got right now, all my supplies and everything right now, and then I'm out there, just out there. City's falling, everything's burning. There's nowhere to find shelter except for what I got and what I could salvage. What would I do? And I think I'm a pretty smart guy. My mind would be racing 1,000 miles a minute. And if I have my little group with me, because my group shrunk a little bit. So I'm thinking, because not because they left, because they started to prep for themselves at their places. Now they started to really get into the videos. And they started realizing that they can prep. I'm like a backup plan for their backup plan because they started prepping, which is great. That's why I say everybody should form their own group. That way you can have allies if you know who they are. And nothing wrong with having allies. So now I got like 2 or 3 allies out there that got my back if something happened that I could actually go to, or they could come over and I got their back. You need to get groups. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying was that we are savages. I mean, we hunters and gatherers. I mean, we hunters. We've always been like that. It's in our DNA. I mean, if you're gonna revert to, I ain't gonna say your caveman style, but you're gonna revert to whatever you had to do to know what you got to do. I mean, you can have skills. You can have farming skills. You can have carpentry skills. You can have all kinds of skills. But if there's no place to apply those skills, what are you going to do? You're going to revert to maybe hunting and fishing. But you got to watch your back because there's always somebody out there that don't have those skills that's going to be watching you as you go to that lake, as you put that pole in the water, they're waiting for you to catch the fish so they can come along and take the fish. That's what I say. It's the Negan syndrome from The Walking Dead. They have you paying taxes, is what I call it. You had to pay to survive. They will make you subservient to them. All right, let's see. All right, Uncle, I'll see you later. Uncle, I gotta go to church, y'all. Caveman style is my fighting style. LA prepper. Man, I tell you, boy, you won't have to fight some of these people out here. Some of these people, they not fighting. They in it to kill it. I'm gonna tell you, they might eat you after they kill you. Because see, some people might really be starving, and then you got people out there, they wait for this. They bipolar and schizophrenic, and they off their medicine. And they waiting for this. And if you hook up with somebody in their group that's led by somebody like that, woo, it can be devastating to you. I mean, if you get hooked up with a group that's led by somebody that's schizophrenic and paranoid, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, they don't have medicine anymore, and you know how deadly that could be. And that is not a good thing. You're talking about being a predator. You wouldn't be a predator. You'd be just a straight out wolf. And you don't want to have to deal with wolves because wolves are the worst people to run into out there. I mean, people are always talking about the street gangs. Let me tell you something. Street gangs ain't going to have nothing on what's going to happen once everything fall apart and nobody has anything. Street gangs ain't going to have nothing. They're going to have numbers, but that's all they're going to have. They're going to end up fighting among themselves because there's always tension. There's always somebody else who wants to be the man. Always. Oh, woman, I'm sorry. You know, it's women in gangs too. Hey, Dragon, how you doing? So anyway, like I said, I'm not going to talk long. I'm going to talk maybe about an hour. But like I said, it's crazy out there. It is really, really crazy when you start thinking about what is the worst that could happen and what are the things you would do to live. You know, it's really some I'm not gonna say, I was gonna say shit, but I ain't gonna say shit. It's some stuff that you will really regret doing later on. I mean, it's like when you're a teenager, stuff you regret doing now. But I mean, but then you grown man, but you're gonna have to go out and not be the gray man if you can afford to not be the gray man, but be with a group and be with your group, hopefully, because you can trust. Hopefully, you can trust the people in your group to have your back. But don't be the guy with the moral compass. You know what I'm talking about? It's always that guy to say, well, you know, this might be wrong. Because that guy is always going to be the one guy to get you killed or everybody else in the group killed, but and himself killed. But you don't want to be that guy with the moral compass because, see, you know it's not, you know it's not going to be right and you know it's going to be wrong, but you know you're doing it because you have no choice. It's a matter of survival. And what they go back to, survival of the fittest. You know, that's like in them zombie movies. You know, the one that can run the fastest usually the one to survive. And if you can't run the fast, you shoot the other guy in the leg and you keep on going, you know. So that's how it is. And that's what it is. Hey, Slayer Mike and Eric. Erica, how you doing? So like I said, it's on the chorus says Dale. Yeah, I remember The Walking Dead. What was his name? Shit. Rick's best friend. I can't think of his name. Lori's boyfriend, I should say. Remember, he shot Otis in the leg when they was running, and they both was limping. He shot Otis in the leg, and Otis got eaten up. Yeah, but anyway, it could be like that. Like I say, Rick and his group was basically the bad people. Every time you turn around, they intrude on somebody else's stuff. Until one day they got their own stuff, and then they see how it felt when the guys wanted to take their prison. And you ended up with a psychotic guy like the governor that wanted to do things to him. But anyway, that's a whole other story, The Walking Dead, because it's back on now. But I mean, it's true. and I may be repeating myself because see, people, you need to look deep inside yourself. All right, you really do. You really do need to look deep inside yourself to actually say to yourself, could I or would I? Because you can and you will, because that's the way it is. Nobody wants to sit up there and watch somebody else across the street sitting down eating baked potatoes and a steak, and you sitting over here and you looking at grass. I mean, you're gonna figure out a way to get some of that baked potatoes and steak. And that's the way it is, because your stomach is gonna tell you, and your mind is gonna start playing tricks on you. You might even start hallucinating, like in Looney Tune cartoons. One guy look like a hamburger, another guy look like a hot dog. You might start to hallucinate, but nobody want to have to get that far. You see what I'm saying? Because right now, things are tough for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. But some people, they getting by because they learn how to adjust because they don't have anything to start with, so they're not losing that much. But the people that did have something to start with, they had a home and cars and stuff like that, and they had heat, and all of a sudden, some national disaster came through and took all that away from them. Now they don't know how to even get water. They don't know how to do anything. They can barely do heat, and that's why a lot of people end up dying, because they try to heat their houses the wrong way. If you don't know how to get heat, you better dress in layers. Don't just put one big coat on. You better dress in layers. And the reason you dress in layers is because you don't want to sweat. Because if you sweat, you're gonna die. That's plain and simple. You dress in layers, and the reason you dress in layers, like I said, because you don't want to sweat. If you start getting hot, you take off a layer. If it's getting cold, you put on a layer. You dress in layers, and that's a winter tip from me. And that's what I used to always do when I was carrying mail. You don't never want to sweat, and you out there in 18-degree weather, because you're gonna get sweaty and wet, and you're gonna freeze, get pneumonia, or worse, frostbite, and you might end up dying. Okay, let's see what we got. Lute Olston says human beings have the amazing ability to justify their actions, laugh out loud. You're right. You look at all that genocide that went on in Africa. I mean, people were killing other people for no reason just because they're from a different tribe. You know what I mean? People will justify anything, and that's the way it is. It's history to tell you. Look at Nazi Germany. They justified anything, because they say, well, we need room to expand, so they're gonna take your country or do whatever they wanted to do. But I mean, that's the way people are. People always have excuses. That's why sometimes I sit up here and I watch. I ain't gonna talk too much about this because it's politics, and politics suck. And they sit up there and they always got an excuse. They always got an excuse. It's never nobody else's fault. People that want to be in charge, they are in charge, but they always have a ton of excuses. I can't stand people like that. See, I used to be a union steward, so I didn't have no excuse. I made sure that my guys got off or whatever they did, even if they were wrong. That's the way it is. That's my job. My job was to win it and keep them employed, and I did. So anyway. Hey, Humble Lion. Hey, Humble Lion. Wow. Nice name. Humble Lion. Double negative. Humble Lion. Wow. So anyway, what was I finally, like I said, I started the drill. So, like I'm going to say, a new plan. Have a new plan. Next month, it's going to get warmer. I mean, what is this, March? So have a plan for April. I hope all of you guys are planning on growing something, starting a garden. Have a plan, and then have a prayer. If you're not a religious person, that's okay. You can still say a prayer every day. So that's all I'm gonna say. Have a plan and a prayer, and we'll see if that works for us. Because a lot of people are hit up and stuff like that, these tragedies, but that obviously they didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan, but they need to definitely get one. And like I said, all you guys out there in California, you know what's coming: the wildfires, the blackouts. I mean, and now they got so many refugees, they don't even know where all of them at. I seen that big hole in the fence. So you guys better be ready, because anything can happen at any moment. to make everything that we know change. What they call that Teotihuacan. Yeah, that could happen at any moment. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. So on that note, let me, because I'm halfway through. Let me mention this. A lot of you guys out there think I'm crazy because I believe in aliens. That's okay. But it is out there. I'm gonna put it to you this way. Some people believe in ghosts. Some believe in the devil. Some people believe in God and angels. I believe in aliens. Matter of fact, I believe in all of them. I mean, some people believe in supernatural. I mean, how can you believe in all that stuff because you never seen it, but you can't believe in aliens and they have seen them. You know, they may not have seen little green men running around, but they are out there. Let's see. Yes, you are. Pause that. You are the bad man. We all are the bad man. You know, we are the bad people. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we're not the bad people yet, but when push comes to shove, and you need stuff, you will be the bad man, and we will have excuses for justifying what we did, or we'll try to cover it up. But that's the way it is. I mean, I ain't gonna go any farther than just say that's what happened. Let's see, Homestead Teotihuacan happens for me, for everyone at one point in their lives on a personal level, playing for the most part. You're right. I had said in one of my other videos, bad things happen in threes. You know, I done suffered a lot of bad things in threes. You know, when one thing happened, I say, okay, but if a second thing follow right behind that first thing, and I'll be waiting for that third shoe to drop. And it usually happens. So, like I said, Shirley said the universe is too big just for us. Yes, it is. I mean, because too many strange things are happening, and you know, the people in charge, the people that run the government, I'm not gonna say the government, but the Space Bureau, they won't tell us the truth. You know, like in New Hampshire, about a couple of months ago, I don't know if I mentioned this, remember they had that blue orb out there? Did you hear about that? Nobody heard about that up in Concord. They had a blue orb out there. I seen the video, and it was just out there, and they can't figure out what happened. They don't understand what it was. I mean, they had that same blue orb appear in Ontario, Canada, and in Utah, but they don't tell us about this. See, I may mention stuff like this because they don't worry about me. The men in black, they won't do anything to me because they don't care anymore. You don't care anymore. They tell you that it's a figment of my imagination, that is a dot on the screen or something like that. I check out the fakes. I see the fakes. You can tell the fakes, but some of that stuff is unexplainable, and they keep feeding us this stuff that is nobody here in this universe but us. And I'm not gonna buy that. I believe in monsters. I believe in God, ghosts, the supernatural, and aliens. So I don't have to see something to believe it. That's the way it is. You know, some people say, "Show me I'm from Kansas." I'm from Cleveland. Sometimes you got to believe in other stuff, because if you don't, you might walk into something you have no chance of getting out of. Let's see. What do you think? What do you think public can't handle? I'm in Mexico. Trust me, they are here. Yeah, I believe they're here. Okay. Humble Lion, he asked a good question. He said you don't think the public can handle it. He said, what do you think the public can't handle? Let me tell you something. You'll never know until you try. Put it out there. Just tell them. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to panic? What can you do? If they say aliens are here and blah, 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 okay, what are you going to do right now? What are you going to do? You're going to go count your ammo. Make sure you got enough just in case. But you're going to hope our government take care of this and stop keeping the truth from us. But we're not gonna panic. At least I'm not gonna panic. I'm not gonna say, well, they wanted to do something to it, they would have done it by now. You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna say it like this: I've seen a lot of TV shows that come so close to the truth that it's funny, like Alien Nation or V. It's a lot of them come so close to the truth, and like I say, the X-Files, the truth is out there. It's just unexplainable, and I try. Like I really wish my nephew was here. He could really tell you more about this because he understands a lot of this stuff, and he could tell you about parallel universes and all this other stuff. See, I only know a little bit about what he knows. He knows a lot, and I'm gonna try to get him on here. And when I do get him here, I'm gonna just go live at that moment because it'll be unpredictable because it'll probably be a little intense, but you would love to hear him talk, okay? Because like I say, if we do have aliens, like I love talking. It seems like every video I start talking about, I end up on aliens because it's just something I think that a lot of people neglect. I mean, even though I'm a prepper and I prep for the weather, and believe me, I prep for the weather first of all, then everything else second of all. I mean, everything else. I try to leave no stone unturned in my prepping, and I want to make sure I have enough stuff because you never know what to expect. Do you think King Kong will save us from Godzilla? I'm waiting for that movie, man. You know what? I'm a big King Kong fan. I'm a big Godzilla fan. I grew up in the 60s watching Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Gamera, and all them Chinese imported movies. We had this guy here in Cleveland. He is from Palmer. We used to call him Goulardi. And he used to show all them old movies with sound effects on I think it was Saturday nights. Yeah. Yep. I think was it Ernie Anderson? Was that the first Ghoul? Goulardi. Yeah, the Ghoul. Yeah. So yeah, I believe that all the nuclear bombs we dropped in the past got affected a lot of animals and people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Echo in the Force say Mothra. Yeah, I like Mothra. That giant moth. Yeah, I remember the very first science fiction movie that I ever seen. It wasn't a thing. It was the very first one I ever seen was Ants. I don't know if y'all remember that one. Every time I hear that sound, I think of Ants. That movie, Ants, old black and white movie. I think it was 1956, somewhere around in there. And I was watching it on the midday movie on Saturday afternoons. We had a midday movie, eating popcorn. We didn't have the microwave popcorn back in them days. You poured it in a pot, you put some butter in it, some oil, and you shake it up, and you're ready to go. I know a lot of people don't remember that, but that's what we did. Sean King, we are the good guys. Never forget that. We're the good guys on the outside. Right now, if nothing ever happened, everybody's good. If everybody's belly full, everybody's got something to drink, everybody's having a good time, everything is okay. But once you take everything away, once you strip people down to their bare bones and take everything they got away, they're going to do what it takes to survive. They're going to do what it takes to survive. It's just like if you landed on I love that flying turtle monster. Gamera. That was Gamera, yeah. Yeah, Sean King, Ants is a classic. I still like Ants to this day. Yeah, those were great movies. But like I said, anyway, don't fool yourself. Right now, I look in the mirror and I know I'm a good guy. If somebody came to my door and they were in need of something right now and the stuff was going bad, I would help. It depends. I ain't capping no crackheads though. I'm just telling you, those zombies can go somewhere else. But if somebody legitimately need help, I would be the first one to step forward and help them. If my neighbor was under attack, I would try to defend him. But I mean, I'm not gonna say that if I didn't have nothing, I would do that same thing. If I didn't have nothing, I had to turn them away. I said, I ain't got nothing. You got to go. You got to go. I might say, empty your pockets. I don't know. You might come looking for help and end up getting robbed. And that happened a few times to people that I know. Their car broke down and they went to the wrong street and got robbed. But that's a whole nother story. That's in the city. That could happen. You know what I'm talking about. If you live in a city, you end up on the wrong street in the wrong neighborhood. You don't get no help. You become a victim. All right. This is not a purge situation. If you watch the movie The Purges, I know people was going around doing things to people. I'm the first to help, but I pity the fool who uses me. Yeah, you don't want to be used. Nobody ever want to be used. That's a bad thing. I have been used before in the past. See, let me tell you a little story. I used to carry mail for over 30 years, and you always run across people that never have anything. They always give you a sad sob story. Say, mailman, can you let me have $1? I need to get something to eat. You give them $1. A mailman, you got 50 cents. I don't have any bus fare. You give them 50 cents. Or they say, mailman, and it was this one guy every day. He never had anything. Every day, the same thing every day. But one day, I seen him at the gas station. He had a gas can. He's holding the gas can, 5-gallon gas can. He say, mailman, can I get $1 to get some gas for the gas can? My car ran out of gas. I gave him $1. I gave him $1 to get some gas. So I went down to the McDonald's over there and got a sandwich, came back out. He got a 40. He done went in the store, took my $1 and bought a 40. That's the last time he ever got anything from me. You see what I'm saying? All that time he was using me and I didn't even know it. But that happens, That happens. So that's the phone number. So we do what we got to do. Are you a movie lover too? I love movies. I got movies. I'll say right now, that's all I do. Basically, watch movies and take care of my grandson right at this moment. But like I said, I used to go when I retired every Monday movie night. Me and my wife every Monday. Make sure we go out to the movies. You got to have a plan. I'm always a grab with a plan. I have a plan for everything. I don't like to have to react on my feet because sometimes I have a tendency to overreact. So I always try to have a plan for everything that goes on. Plan for a plan. But if I had to think on my feet, it's never a good thing for the person that's doing something wrong. Let's see. Let me see what I got here. Okay. I seen a hey pig. Barking at something. That's my little pup. If you seen my little pup, he's a little pup about this big, Jack Russell Terrier, black and white. My daughter named him Guinea Pig. Because he looked like a little guinea pig when he was about this big when we had him. He's only a few weeks old. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I tend to drift. Yeah, movie Mondays. The only reason we went on movies on Monday because I could get the senior discount. They really, when you're a senior citizen, you get a discount. I got a discount. It was always good. Love movies. We missed those because, with this lockdown and stuff. And a lot of the movie theaters we used to go to went out of business. They did. We lost 4 movie theaters. And 2 of them I used to go to. They all closed down. But anyway, what can you do? Hey, Sapphire, Diamond, and Pearls in the house. So anyway, I was talking about us being the bad guys. I ain't say we bad people. Don't get me wrong. I never said we were the bad people. I might have said it. But anyway, I didn't mean that we are bad people. We are just the bad guys. Because, see, we great people. We good people. I mean, everything going straight. We give our tithes and pay our offerings and stuff like that. We help charity organizations. You see somebody that's in need, we will help them out. But my thing is this, that when push come to shove and we don't have anything and we on that refugee train with all these other people out there, we would be the bad guys because that's the only way you survive. It'll be down to only the strong survive unless you organize. And a lot of people ain't gonna be thinking organized because they won't be able to trust nobody. You see what I'm saying? And then you gotta, like I said, you gotta watch out for the people you do trust because you might fall in with a Jim Jones. And I know a lot of you remember Jim Jones, don't you? Yeah, Jim Jones. Took all them people down to Guyana, made them drink the Kool-Aid. That's where you get that saying from, drinking the Kool-Aid. Killed them all. You gotta watch who you follow. Like right now, you gotta watch who you follow. So I'm saying you just never know. And you don't want to be that person. But you gotta be in here. You got to be that person in here. You got to, how should I say this? I ain't gonna say, well, man up, even though women in the chat, you got to be that toughness because you gotta suspect everybody. Everybody is a suspect. It's like a mystery. You don't know this guy from beans. You don't know this guy from onions. So you want to make sure that they can't do anything to you and that you don't want to do anything to them because, see, you might have to need them and they might not have to need you because, see, you might be a sacrificial lamb. You know, like back in the day when they used to have human sacrifices, they used to always sacrifice the strangers first. They did. Or you might run into people out here that don't know how to do anything and they might start eating people. They say, the Bible said there will be people eating people. There will be cannibalism. And I know I'll be a big meal. They can eat on me for about a month. But I don't want to be a meal. Because I don't even want to be a snack. But it can happen. Perfect example. Like I said, most of you might have watched The Walking Dead. Remember the Terminus? Remember when Rick them went to Terminus, the groups all met up at Terminus? What were they doing? They were eating people. They had them they had them bent over to the slaughter rail and they was mashing their heads in. The blood was just running down in there. They was cooking them and eating them. Remember that one guy? That one guy, they cut off his leg and he was barbecuing it out in the woods. But the guy turned the tables on him. He told him, "Look, I got bit by a walker. That's tainted meat." But I mean, that's a whole other story. That's The Walking Dead. Like I said, I'm a big Walking Dead fan. I watch the whole universe. Let's say, he says, "Do you watch YouTube television or the Engineers, Aliens, and Predators variant video?" Yes, I do. I watch all alien videos. I watch all of them. They got them on like 3-4 channels right now here. But I watch YouTube channels here. As a matter of fact, they got on the history, on YouTube history, they got about those sightings that they had in Ohio back in 2020. They got like from Ohio to Michigan, they got all these different UFO sightings that they documented in on video. But people don't believe that. Sapphire say, "Don't drink Kool-Aid anymore," because the Jim Jones movie. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Power Booth, he played Jim Jones. He played that point. He played that role. Yeah, you'll be a good take care of Grandpa. Yeah, you too. Like I said, I'm only gonna be here for another 15 minutes. I gotta go too. Hey, Art by Adrian. Yeah, like I say, that Kool-Aid is crazy. You don't want to drink that. You don't want to drink that because, like I say, this could be crazier. But anyway, what was I? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'll just read some comments. So you don't want to be. I mean, you don't want to be, but you will probably end up turning into the bad guy. I mean, I'm just saying that because it's the only way you'll be able to survive. I mean, and then, like I say, if you are the bad guy, you don't want to be a lone wolf. You know what I mean? It's no good being a bad guy out there alone. See, bad guys, just like criminals here in the city and criminals anywhere, they rarely ever run alone. They always run in groups or packs, or they always have some sidekicks. Like I say, if they do a home invasion, see, every year is 1 million home invasions. It's 1 million of them. Every year, it's a fact. There's 1 million home invasions, and there's never 1 or 2 people. It's always 3 or 4 people when they do home invasions. They don't break in your house with just one guy. Even when they scamming, there's always at least 2 people. But they come with the fake uniforms on, and one guy distracts you while the other guy goes to your back door and up in your house. But that's a whole other story. But I'm just saying, you don't want to be alone when you're the bad guy. That's why back in the outlaw days, most outlaw days always had groups, like the Wild Bunch. You know what I mean? So you always want to be, if you're going to be the bad guy, be in a group, because bad guys will watch your back up to a point, but they will also throw you to the wolves, especially if you're not known in a group, and they don't, like I say, you don't want to get in with a leader that got mental issues. There's a lot of them out there that got mental issues, they don't know what the truth is because that can, they say the truth can set you free because they don't want to set you free. They don't want to tell you what the truth is because they want to keep you in under their thumb, as they say. Let's see. I believe that they are going to do Project BB one day, and they're real gonna be showed up. You talking about the humble line? You talking about the aliens? They're gonna let us know what the truth is. They already released a ton of documents. You know, they released all the documents. The United States, Russia, and Israel. You know, they all released the documents, and they all saying just about the same thing, that they are out there. And you know, if you watch my last video, I was talking about the moon. Now the moon is hollow. I don't care what nobody says. The moon is hollow. I mean, it's not a Death Star. It's just something in there. I don't know what's in there. They could be a space base or something like that, or they could be kidnapping people, taking them up in there. You know, and it could be about 1 million people in these little cocoon things in there, waiting to come back down to this planet after they destroy everything here. You know, who knows what's going on? I have no idea. I do have a couple of ideas, but I don't even want to talk about them because they're too far out there. I mean, it's too far out there because, you know, we do have lizard people, but the lizard people are not aliens. All right, let's get that straight right now. The lizard people are dinosaurs. I mean, the lizard people been here since well before we were here, and they just went underground because there was too many of us, and we were killing them off. You know what I mean? Just like the giants that were here. We kill everything. We kill everything we don't understand. That's probably why they don't want the aliens to come out there and let us know that they're here, because we probably would, like I said earlier in this video, we probably would get the ammo and do something to them, because we are a dangerous people. Do you think you can be a cannibal? Ooh. Let me put, you know what, that's a great question, Unpaid Explorer. But I'm like this. I don't want to eat people. I can't eat people. I can't even eat my dog. I wouldn't eat my dog. I really believe that I would probably starve or start eating shoe leather or start eating wood or anything that might I could eat before I start eating another human being. I just can't do it. Yeah, I can't see myself doing it. SSWW3 to 2040 say what? Wait, lizard people exist? Yes, the lizard people exist. They were here. That's why they don't call lizard people aliens. Lizard people are just people that live underground. I mean, they've been here for years. You know, they always talk about the stuff we got in the Antarctic Circle and all that stuff. You know, they live under there because it's warm. It's actually warm when you get toward the core of the planet. You know, because the core is molten. And, you know, that's how you get all that steam coming up from there and the volcano action. You know, so my little dog, he wants to play. So anyway, yes, we do have lizard people. We do have lizard people, and our ancestors, you know, didn't know how to explain what they were seeing. You know, you hear that all the time when you watch these ancient aliens, and they didn't know how to explain it. I mean, we see some stuff right now. We don't know how to explain it. You know, you gotta say, man, I seen this guy and he was going out there, and I don't know what he was doing, so I can't just explain it. And they say that, just can't explain it. It's just like that shot that they show all the time on TV. It was Dr. J, Philadelphia against the Lakers in the championship. And Dr. J did that under the scoop, layup basket. I mean, you can't explain that. See, I can't explain it now, but I see it all the time. And I remember when he did it, and it just floored me. You know, you see stuff like that that you just can't explain. And that's what they did now. We don't have words for it, you know. We give them words now because we get all these people out here that's investigating this stuff. But back then, we didn't have words to explain it. Are they under the city of Los Angeles? Yes, they are. Los Angeles got some, but they don't hang around on Los Angeles. You know, Los Angeles, you wouldn't even know them if you see them on the street, because see they can make disguises. I mean, they don't have alligator faces. I mean, their faces not way out here with alligator faces. They got faces like our faces, but they got scales and they green and all that stuff. And you can make up. I mean, California, shit, I see some women out there that look like they alligator people. I mean, but that's a whole different story. Now they got contacts they put in their eyes. And like I say, you wouldn't even know them because they've been around so long and their technology is so much above us. Is that they do walk like we walk, and they got like three types. Three scales, periods of how they grow, just like people. But anyway, yeah, I can't explain. See, there you go. I can't explain it. But they do. We do have them. I'm just saying. So if we come out there, you hear it from me first. So like I said, if you that's the cannibalism. That's why we will be the bad guy because we don't want to have to eat nobody in our group. Matter of fact, I remember the snow piercing that train thing, that series they got out. I don't really watch it, but I know about it. But I watched the movie, and at the beginning of the movie, the reason that guy only had that one arm, he cut off this one arm and gave it to those guys to eat because they were gonna eat the baby. Remember that in the movie, The Snow Piercing? Right. And the guy that was gonna eat the baby ended up being a hero. He ended up being a good guy, but he was gonna eat the baby. And they ended up eating this guy's arm, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, how many of you think you're gonna be cannibals? I hope none of you think you're gonna be cannibals. I hope none of you want to even eat your dog, because you don't go that far. Rob, steal, loot, do whatever you can, become a wolf, become a predator, but don't start eating people. That's the lowest of the low. That's the worst you can do. You're not in the jungles where they got the headhunters at. You know what I mean? In South America, you're not down there with got the blow darts, and you got these places where that's what they did. They eat the people. We're not like that. We are civilized, supposedly. We're not savages. Boy, we can find stuff to eat. Eat vegetables. I mean, eat grass. Some grass and plants are edible. You know, they got all these YouTube channels to show you how to find edible stuff that's out in your yard right now. Dandelions. You can eat dandelions. Did you know that? You can make wine out of it. So I'm just saying, cannibalism is a no-no. I mean, we may be bad people, but we're not crazy people. Well, some of us are. And you know who you are. I'm not gonna say no names, but some of you are crazy. But we're not that crazy that we will go ahead and start eating people unless you're a zombie. And who knows about, I'm not going to say what I'm about to say about this stuff that's out here now. That's going to maybe, they put this new DNA into your body that might change you 6-7 months from now into The Walking Dead. I'm not going to even mention that because you heard that they taking your channels if they start thinking you're talking about that. I know they're doing it to Twitter, and I don't need my channel taken. So I don't need to have no trouble with that. But like I say, it just like I said, I just wanted to wake some people up, just in case, you know, they didn't think they were the bad people. Bad guys are not bad people. You're good people. Everybody that watch me is good people. Everybody's my friends. You know, I when I reply to your comments when you send something to me, I always say stay safe and stay blessed because I want to give you a blessing. I want you to stay safe. You know, because you're good people. I mean, you really are good people out here. I mean, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're an independent. Politics has no place on my channel because I don't really care because they're all full of it. So, but anyway, oh man, I just got a notification from Guerrez. If you ever watch Guerrez, let me tell you what I seen the other day on this video. I had to say this right now because I'm about to close up. He had posted a video that he see from Florida. And it was this guy laying up in the bed in a body cast. You know, he had in a body cast spread out like this, spread out eagle. And he had a towel on his middle section, right? Where his privates are. And he had the thing to keep his legs from closing. And he had a body cast on. And the story was about this guy. I don't know what his name was. I don't want to say nobody else's name. But he said that the guy got his private parts bit off, his franks and beans, because he was trying to mate with a 4-year-old pit bull, male pit bull. And the dog turned around and bit his private off. And that was so funny. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but come on. Now, that's insane people right there. That's the kind of guy that go out and eat other people. He mating with animals and eating people. See, you got to watch them people. Like I say, he probably was well out there off his medication. You know what I mean? He passed bipolar and being schizophrenic. He was just out there. You know, he might have been on some bath salt or some stuff like that. But yeah, that's from Guerrez. If you don't know who he is, you know, you can see that he follows me and I follow him. Okay. I'm about to get some moderators to drop some links one day. Next time I do a live. But anyway, Things gonna happen right now. A lot of people are worried about what the Georgia Guidestone is saying because they worried about if things gonna happen the way they say it's gonna happen, where the population is gonna get down to 500 million. And we got what, I don't know about what, 30, 35 billion people here in the world. I know we got a couple of 100 million people in America. What do we got, about 340 million people, something like that? We got like 300 million people. We got a lot of people. But people like China and India, they got billions. But I mean, they're just saying that the population need to be trimmed down to 500 million. So you add that up, you go from billions to millions, and that just won't work unless something happened to a lot of people. Ray, you are a good birthday, very honest and caring. Oh, thank you, John. That's John Coffey. Yeah, me and John Coffey gonna have to get together one day this summer. I'm gonna show him the solar panels when we get together. I'm gonna show him what these solar farms that we have up here. We have 2 that I know that's not that far from me. Plus, they got an all solar home, and he'll appreciate that because it's right over by a little pond, by the Wade Oval. Actually, Wade Oval. They had fireworks last night. So anyway, I'm getting off my thing. Is hey, Nina, how you doing, Nina? I don't know why I would say Nina. So anyway, we are good people. I mean, just keep it in your heart that you are good people, and that sometimes good people do bad things. You hear soldiers from World War II. Like, I know a lot of people that used to tell me stories, soldiers from World War II, and a lot of Vietnam veterans. And I used to listen to the war stories, especially when I was at the post office, because the post office was all veterans when I was in it. It was all veterans. We made out of every 75, 80 carriers, you had 3 or 4 that wasn't veterans. But the rest of them was all veterans because that's the way they used to have it. When the guy come out of the military, if they wanted to, they go straight to the post office. A lot of them did. But anyway, that's a whole other story. They all tell me stories sometimes, especially World War II stories, because I used to listen to my father and stuff like that. And he used to always tell me these stories of things they did that they had to do, that they wasn't too proud of doing, but they had to do it anyway. You know what I mean? And you'd be surprised. I mean, these are some good people that had to do some bad things. And you see in some of these movies, good people do bad things, and that's how we would have to be if you lost everything. I'm just saying, not because we got things now. I'm just saying, if you at rock bottom and you have nothing, I mean, your house is burning, everything is to the ground, and everything is going crazy around you. It's a world without rule of law, WROL, and you out there, and you looking in the face of your kids or your grandkids and your wife, and you looking in their faces, and just the 5 of you or the 4 of y'all. And you saying, well, look, you're going to have to take charge. This is what we're going to do. You tell them what you're going to have to do, and you tell them the reason why you're going to have to do it, and you're going to want them to look. I don't need no argument. I don't need no back talk. I don't need no moral compass, because this is what's going to happen. This is what it's going to be in order for us to survive. And that's what you have to do, because once you go down that road, it's going to be hard to get back because there's no sense of normalcy. That's what they say. I don't even know if that's a word. But it won't be any. And you got to do what you got to do. Let's say Grandpa said he had to wipe out a village in Vietnam. Wow. A lot of people had to do stuff like that. A lot of people had to put bamboo shoots under people's fingernails and skin some people, pull a skin from their wrist up to their elbow, just peel the skin off. I mean, I don't even want to talk about that shit. But I mean, it's just stuff people had to do back in the day. It was just ruthless. That's what it was, ruthless. You had to be that way to survive, especially in World War II. If you was in the Marines, and you know what I'm talking about, because when you on them islands, you doing that jungle warfare, it's just sad. That's why I always say, thank you for your service. I appreciate everybody that's out there that's a veteran. You have my undying gratitude. All right, then. Like I said, I was going to talk only about an hour. It's been almost an hour now, and I hope I'm saying something that you can use, and I hope you understand what I was talking about. I mean, we all are good people, but are we the bad guys? And we will be the bad guys if we lose everything. Where we had to resort to looting, scavenging, taking other people's stuff if we had to. Being the predator instead of the prey, and that's what we would have to do. So, like I say, everybody, I'm gonna cut this short because I know people don't want to hear me talk about space aliens again because I love talking to aliens. So I'm gonna let everything go at this point. And thank you guys for watching my channel, and I appreciate it. And for the ladies out there, I'm gonna do a third shout out, and that's gonna be the last shout out for a while. Then this summer I'm gonna start doing shout outs for the smaller channels so they can get some subscribers too this summer because summertime is always slow. All right, thank you guys.